Strong corn and soybean weekly sales to end the month of April. We'll talk about those numbers in just a moment. Welcome back to Your World in Agriculture for Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Thanks to our sponsor, Imogene Ingredients. Weekly prices, or the daily prices anyway, for corn. Overnight July up 2 3/4 at $4.78. July soybeans up a half a cent at $10.45 per bushel. July wheat up a half a cent higher at $5.32. All livestock markets closed sharply lower on Wednesday, so they head into Thursday's trade with very little momentum. Now we take a look at the USDA's weekly export sales showing strong numbers for corn and soybeans. These are old crop numbers here on the chart anyway, at 1.01 million metric tons, down 12% versus a week ago. However, at the high end of the trade expectations. Now, to the top right chart, the pace of total commitments now for the 34th week of the marketing year. We're at 91% of what the USDA has projected for this marketing year. Meanwhile, bottom left corner showing Mexico and Japan, the top buyers of U.S. corn so far this marketing year. On to soybeans. These numbers came in at the upper end of the trade's expectations for this week. Now, the old crop sales at 428,000 metric tons, up 55% versus a week ago. And again, the new crop was about 50,000. That was about mid-range of what the trade had expected. China, though, had some increases in purchases in this week ending April 24th, so that is of note. Now, top right chart, pace of total commitments, we have reached 96% of what the USDA, 95.5% of what the USDA has projected. We're at week 34 in the soybean marketing year. Meanwhile, the biggest buyer for soybeans right now, again, remains China. Soybean oil, we take a look at the weekly net sales of soybean oil. Low end of the expectations coming in at about 8,200 metric tons. That's down 34% versus a week ago. For the pace of total commitment sales, we're around 94% of what the expectation is for the USDA this marketing year. India and Colombia, the bottom left chart showing the biggest buyers of U.S. soy oil. Let's take a look at soybean meal. The net weekly sales this week coming in at the high end of expectations. Also, this 323,000 total is 89% higher than a week ago. The pace of total commitments for soybean meal, 78% of what the USDA has projected. Meanwhile, bottom left corner, Philippines and Mexico, the top two buyers of U.S. soybean meal. Now, for wheat, this is May is the last month of the 2024-25 marketing year. For wheat, the net weekly sales came in at mid-range of what the trade had expected. Old crop sales at 72,000. New crop sales, not on this chart, at 238,300. But again, the pace of total commitments now for wheat, we have reached this number here, 95.9, so 96% of the USDA's projection with just 1 month to go. And Mexico is the biggest buyer of U.S. wheat. So there you have it, the totals for U.S. wheat, or U.S. weekly net sales, and also the total commitments. Let's take a look again also at the weather for the Corn Belt, the planting weather, and of course some of the growing weather for those crops that have already grown. It's looking dry. That's essentially the story behind the forecast. For the eastern Corn Belt, there will be some light rain events this week and also some light rain events next week. The 6 to 10 day forecast is calling for big rains for the winter wheat areas, parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, but not into the western Corn Belt, where Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, and the eastern Corn Belt. For the 11 to 15 day, some light rains, otherwise no rain for the western Corn Belt for the 11 to 15 day. And the middle of the month of May looks dry from Interstate 70 northward through the Midwest. So there you have it. That's a look at the weather for the Midwest for the month of May. Cattle, hog, and poultry producers, listen up. If your livestock have scours, Imogene Ingredients sell a product called Pharmatan that stabilizes the digestive process. It can save your animal, increase immunity levels, and improve general health. Decrease your scour cases today by contacting Imogene Ingredients at 515-745-1639. visit imagineingredients.com. Again, a thank you to Arrow Advisory LLC for our charts. Comments to that company in the description of this video. Be sure to subscribe and like Your World in Agriculture for more farm content. I'm Mike McGinnis.